What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on Road Graders, brought to you today on the Russell Street Report and also from our friends at Underdog Fantasy. And we're going to be diving into the debut of Emery Jones, taking a look at some of the bright spots, some of the things I'm not so pleased with, both from an O-line scheme perspective, and we'll kind of go through the whole thing. Obviously, we have 16 snaps. I'll give you kind of a quick summary from the top. If this was a preseason game, I'd be feeling pretty darn good. Like, there's definitely some positives, but there's also some negatives and some things that he's going to just need to grow with, and that's okay. And that's part of having a rookie and rookies needing to play to get these reps. And again, it's unfortunate we didn't get to see this in preseason, where there's a little bit of extra time, extra film room, extra practice application, all that stuff to them when you get into the regular season, start applying it. So if you guys are looking forward to this, hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're new here. And I can tell you I'm excited for the fact that Underdog just dropped prediction market spreads, totals, and team outcomes. And the best part, you can combine them with player picks for bigger multipliers. Sign up today with code ROAD. Make a $5 fantasy entry and you will get $100 in fantasy bonus entries. That's $100 on a $5 entry. Prediction markets are now live in 25 states, including Texas, California, and Florida. And Underdog is available in over 40 states with player picks and draft games. Prediction markets, player picks, all on Underdog. So we're going to start here in the run game. And this was his first rep. Everyone's really excited about it. And when we take a look at this from a pre-snap perspective, so we're just going to be going zone to the left, and it's going to be a weak side zone call. We know that because Mark Andrews, the tight end here, is on the right side. This is going to go to the left. And so pre-snap, you got to ID this, right? So we have a one tech just to our inside, and then we have the will linebacker just off. So what I'd like to see pre-snap is a quick pass off that, because Tyler just has to overtake that inside shoulder for his athleticism. Easy overtake. We want to take this inside hand, push off, and then climb into 42. And the other tell is Geno Stone coming downhill. That becomes Pat Ricard's man. Stanley, obviously, here with the kickoff. Now, obviously, we're not IDing this well pre-snap because Pat Ricard gets met with two guys. And this is mistakes that are constantly being made this year. It's just not identifying pre-snap. So right here, we can see it. So Emery Jones is going to pass off. Tyler's head comes across. This all looks good. There's Pat Ricard coming downhill as a lead blocker. The problem is we have 22 to take care of, we have 42 to take care of, and we have 49 to take care of. And what I need from Emery Jones here is to get wider and take the front side linebacker. He can't take the backside linebacker because there's a play side safety that we saw. Again, if he's not running downhill pre-snap, but this team's ability to read pre-snap has been a real problem. You see him start to run that alley. And so when Pat Ricard gets into the gap, there's two guys for him to block. And this is just constantly happening where we're not blocking the right guy. So, I mean, good technique, good quickness from Emery Jones here. A lot of it looking solid. If he gets play side on 42, this is a solid rep, but 42 is going to run in unchallenged. Derrick Henry hitting the backfield. How many times does that happen this year? Here's another one that we're going to take a look at. This is going to be the holding call. This was a ticky-tacky holding call. So this play here is going to be just kind of a fullback lead. So we're going to get that kind of counter handoff where Lamar's going to open to his right and then hand off here. Henry's going to follow him up. You can see right there, the Bengals fill that gap. So Emery Jones here is blocking for the right side to be the front side. So he's just driving through here. Everything's fine in his rep here. Derrick Henry cuts this back because they fill that gap. And I didn't think Emery Jones did really anything wrong here. We see him. He's got that leverage. Ideally, I'd like to see his head on the inside, but not necessarily the end of the world because he has good positioning. So as the defensive lineman adjusts to Derrick Henry cutting it, he just holds like a fraction of a second too long. But this happens all the time when like they're in tight, they're holding, and when a guy cuts back, the defensive line adjusts to it and he, makes a cut on it. I think right there he just has to have the awareness to let go because that guy wasn't making a play on the ball. It's still a holding call. It's not that it doesn't matter. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's not great, but everything considered, I thought it was pretty ticky-tacky and just a little bit of a lesson here. Now, the play that I really want to focus on is these combo blocks where the Ravens keep going hip to hip. So right here, we have a 4-tech lined up in between, a 3-tech lined up in, 4-eye. He's a 4-eye just inside the right inside foot of Ronnie Stanley. So they're going to work a double here, Ronnie and Emery Jones. And what you're going to see is they're going to combine hip to hip right there. And part of the problem on this play is watch Tyler Linderbaum from the center. So he just gets swam by 98. That can't happen that quick. But these little hip to hips, that shoulder check right there, he's just passing that off to Ronnie, who's going to overtake, and then he's going to the second level. This play isn't on him in terms of 98 beating Tyler. He's a 0 tech. He's just going to own up there. You can see them making a double on that 3 tech. That's just, Tyler Linderbaum needs to be better there, and he wasn't. But this little hip check that the Ravens do, I can't stand it. I can't stand this double because it puts their hips together, but it puts the defensive lineman right in the way of your inside foot that then you need to get into the second level, which is kind of what Emery Jones goes to do, but 98 swam right into his face. So I don't think he's doing anything wrong because I see them doing this all the time, but I think it's one of the problems why we look so unathletic getting into the second level. And you're going to see it right here. Here's the blooper because the Baltimore Ravens offensive line loves bloopers. So we got 58, which is an outside linebacker, lined up as, a 4-eye technique. You can see him just on the inside foot of Ronnie Stanley. And when the snap goes, there's that hip to hip. I hate this hip to hip play because look, it gets Emery Jones out in space right there. Things look good. And then he checks back with his shoulder. So he moves his entire body back inside. But we see it all the time. So I have no doubt they're being coached to do this. And I want him to pass off with that inside hand. He still has to make contact. He has to help leverage that block so that Ronnie Stanley can overtake. And then he needs to get into the second level. But when he does this, he actually knocks Ronnie over and they both fall. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where when people talk about what issue is George Warhop causing, it's plays like this. There's no need to be going hip to hip here. And both sides of the line does it. It's been happening over multiple weeks. And it's just one of those things where I do think it's a coaching thing. I think they're really focused on taking care of that first level defensive lineman. But again, I want his hand in here to pass off, and then I want him climbing to 44. And things look pretty clean here from a pre-snap perspective to be able to do that. But you end up with a blooper because of, him tackling essentially his own guy. So it's just one of those things where, from a run blocking perspective, I think one of the things Emery Jones struggled with was kind of that pre-snap identification. So some of that is just going to come with awareness. He's playing a new position. I don't think he's played left guard since high school, if I remember reading the bio correctly. He was a right tackle for LSU. Some of this is just going to be growing pains, but I did find he's pretty athletic when he gets out of his stance, and I like his upper body strength, and he looks like he's got pretty good core strength. So I think in terms of what he's going to be able to do, I think that's all positive. I think it's just a lot of those pre-snap details to be able to be able to be more effective. And then in pass protection, where we get some of these reps, you're going to see him come out here. And right here is where you get a good glimpse of his core strength. So he's going to come out and he's going to overextend. So he's going to open up on his post step. They have a line slide. So Tyler's going to snap and then slide out to his right. So he's got to take that inside right foot. That's going to be a post step right off the snap. As soon as that goes, post snap. And he's going to reach right here. And this is what I don't like. And this is where he's gonna have to get used to playing with this, playing at guard and being a little bit more tight quarters because he's used to kick stepping and getting out in space. So as soon as he comes across, you can see right there his right foot planted right there, way too narrow to where this foot is. And this is just a comfortability thing where you want that right step. It's got to be quick, jabby footwork. So he's got to come out and go ta-ta, and then that get in a better position. But he reaches right there, and the recovery here is where you see the core strength right there. So he's got that ability to hit that. I think it's his left hand right there. So that left hand does hit inside. So he's going to take kind of a smack to the head on the swim move, but that left hand stays pasted. So, good recovery there. But overall, don't love seeing that. This is going to be the I think does it count as an interception, fumble, interception, whatever, right on the goal line. So what they're going to do here, the Bengals are just going to bail out 2 defenders, a little sim pressure, try and create that numbers game. Emery Jones has nobody on him. They both bail out. Comes in, finds work, inside hands, good stuff. And you can see if you watch right here, we'll be doing a video on this later, but Roger just doesn't see this stunt come. Fundamental issue here. 58 goes right into his inside hand, runs right through it, gets right at Lamar Jackson. Roger Rosengarten just didn't see it coming. How many times has the right side of this line failed to pass off a stunt? Now we get one of the few reps that was kind of a true pass set. Him against BJ Hill, no help. Didn't have a ton of these reps. There were some screen passes, some quick passes. But here you're going to get a true rep against BJ Hill. And, he's going to get walked back a little bit, but I think you can see some of the promising stuff. There's definitely some things to work on. So he's going to get out. His hands land nice and tight right there. Like what I'm seeing right here, because his hand right there, that black glove, is inside of BJ Hill's glove. It's a little high. You can see him give up his chest a little bit. I'd like to see the hand out on the chest plate, but it's not horrible. And then you see his base get a little narrow, though. And that's just going to be part of this adjustment as he moves to guard. When you're a tackle, you're going to have a little bit of a wider stance, because look at Ronnie Stanley. He's out, being athletic, and we need to have a bit of a wider base. But as he fights through this is going to be kind of what I'd call a slow burn loss. He's going to absorb it decently well. It's not horrible. I don't love seeing guys get walked back into Lamar Jackson's face, but you can see a little bit of that upper body strength that masks that poor technique with his feet. So he just needs a wider base there. So that's what I mean. There's some positives to take away, but there's also some things that he needs to clean up. That's why I wish these reps were happening in the preseason. And then you're going to get one here. Just resets again on BJ Hill. And right there, you can kind of see his ability to absorb. You can see as soon as he comes out of his stance, what I love seeing here, look how nice and low his hands are. Hands are low, in his set, butt low. You look at Falele, he's crunched over because he's so damn tall playing on the inside. You just see those nice low hands. And look at the difference in the footwork from that first step. Comes out, and he pauses and chops his feet rather than reaching. So it's almost like he kind of learned from that first one. And look at when he makes the contact on BJ Hill. Right there. Nice power position, inside hands. Good stuff right there. And he follows him out so that he can't, he can't get anything late, or if Lamar is going to scramble, he can't do anything. So I really like seeing this rep. This one I thought was really solid. Shows a nice adjustment to what we saw earlier. So, it's one of those things where there's definitely some positives to take away. Again, I just wish this was happening in preseason, where he could, go back into the film room with the coaching staff and, be like, okay, that's, there's that. That's what that looks like. Now let's implement. It's just hard to do that when you're going down the stretch. You're 6-6. You're fighting for a playoff spot. You're fighting to win the division. Regardless of how bad last week was, they're still winning their division right now with 2 matchups against the Steelers and another against the Bengals coming up. So, high leverage games coming up. It feels over. Everything feels grim. But to this team, they're just focusing on the next game and trying to win. And Emory Jones is going to try and be part of that. So the quicker that he can win, I hope we see more reps. I'd love to see him on the right side. We all know that, but it is what it is. So that's what I have for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're new here. Go check out Underdog Fantasy and be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Peace out, everyone.